Welcome to the Somos Sunnyside podcast, brought to you by the Communications Department of the Sunnyside Unified School District. Thank you for tuning in while we share stories about the bright side of education.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 3 of Somos Sunnyside. Can you believe that? We are in Season 3. I'm your host, Jose Castellum, the proud superintendent of the Sunnyside Unified School District. And like always, we got special guests on the show today. And so, we're excited. We just kicked off the 25-26 school year. We're a couple weeks in and things are going real well. I hope our young ones, our students are settling in. I hope, our employees, our teachers, our counselors, our support staff are settling in as well. And I hope they had a great summers. But let's get to it. We have, again, two special guests. We have Natalie Townsend. She is the assistant principal of the Freshmen Academy at Sunnyside High School. And we have Matthew Coody, who is an EMS instructor. And I'm gonna screw up what EMS stands for, but we're gonna give it a shot. Emergency Management Services.
So close.
Medical services. Right, emergency medical services. Thank you for so we got a bunch of Blue Devils in the house today. So, hello, welcome.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Great.
You guys tired yet? We're only 2 weeks in. You should be full of energy. You should still be on your high from the start of the school year. How's it going? How are you guys feeling?
Weren't we just talking how tired we are already?
Yes.
We have energy, but oh man, we're putting it all with the students right now.
All right. Well, good. Well, if anybody is feeling bad during the show, we got EMS services here, so you'll take care of us, right? So if my blood sugar goes down and you see me not feeling well, you know why. So it's always exciting to start the year. We started the year with the opening day kickoff. Have a lot of fun with that. All our schools gathered together at Sunnyside High School. All 21 schools represented. And we do a little spirit stick contest, and that's always fun. Our individuals get so creative, schools get so creative, and it gets so competitive, right? And that's the piece that it's unfortunate. We do pick some winners, and then we have some people that just don't win, right? And so not to rehash this or to make people feel a little bit upset about it, but it's all in good faith. And I see big smiles here in the room because Sunnyside won the high school spirit stick, right?
Again,
sour subject, but for some, but
really love that.
Yeah.
So, but it was a great competition. I think Desert View held their own. I mean, Desert View came out. I love the wanted signs, their little Western theme, and Elvira was the elementary winner of the spirit stick. And then we had our middle school winner, who was Lawfer, the Lawfer Rattlers.
Came back for it, right?
They came out and stung people, right? And they were the middle school. So again, all in fun, just creativity. It's really celebrating coming back to school, right? Bringing the enthusiasm. So, we look forward to doing something, maybe a little different next year. I don't know. We can't share that information, but the reason we are here is to celebrate you two. We recently found out over the summer that both of you were named 40 under 40. So what does that mean? It means that you're under 40 years old, right? And there was 40 individuals that were selected, and this is put on by a real important organization in our community, Southern Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. They do this event every year where they pick 40 individuals that are doing great work in the community, and they're being recognized for it. And so I want to give a shout out to the CEO over there, Mr. Rob Elias, who always does an amazing job of recognizing educators and providing opportunities for our students. Our students are always at the table when they have great events, so definitely want to give them a shout out. And we'll give both of you a shout out because you're 40 under 40. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what does that mean to you? Do you guys it's got to feel good, right? I mean, let's just be honest. It's got to feel good. I know you guys are humble people, but there's only 40 individuals that are selected across Southern Arizona, and there's 2 of the 40 right here, right in our backyard. And of course, as we're all competitive, we continue, I would say, the the pattern of getting Sunnyside folks elected right in there. So every year we've well, I don't know, maybe I'm incorrect, but as far as I know, every year we've had somebody there and somebody representing Sunnyside Unified School District, and this year it happens to be both of you. So what does it feel like, man, to be wearing that across your chest? And I mean, stop me, because I'm excited here. I mean, big ceremony, August 26th, where there will be a ceremony to recognize the 40 individuals and a pretty good breakfast, right? And so you'll be there being recognized. You'll be on stage. They'll show a video and all that, and you know, you're there to make your families proud. So
I mean, you're making me nervous just talking about it.
I know.
We're going on stage. I didn't realize it was all of that.
You are. You will be under the lights. There will be a big video, and we get to go to that event every year and celebrate with those individuals that have been passed. What's the word?
Yeah.
Past honorees. I lost the words.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is really exciting. You know, one of the things that kind of crossed my mind when I first heard the announcement, and Coody even emailed me, was, you know, it takes a village to do the work that we do. And, you know, you think of everybody that, you know, should be there alongside you also receiving this award, because it's not just, you know, you alone. And so it is humbling. It is, you know, something that, you know, is really exciting to be a part of. But I think a lot of it is just rooted in, like, I can speak for Coody because I look at him and I know why he got the award. You know, he does everything with so much passion and so much love, and there's so many people in our district that do that. And so to be able to be recognized, like, on that platform, it is really nice.
Good. And you guys should feel good about yourselves. I always tell people, like, feel proud, feel good about yourself. But you know, people in this organization, in this community, are very humble people. Just like we heard a humble response from Mrs. Townsend here, but you're right. I mean, there's so many influences. I mean, it's hard to take all the credit, because there's so many people along the way that have helped us, right? As we grow in our careers, you know, in our trajectory here. So, Mr. Coody, how did it feel when you got the news?
You know, your
heart rate didn't go up or anything,
right? No, it did. No, it did. No, when I get a phone call, and, you know, they say congratulations. It's, you know, really, this is it. Like, you know, I won, or not won. I'm being honored, and it's really exciting. And what Natalie said is accurate. You know, you think back immediately on, how did I get here? Who helped me get to this point? Family, friends, other coworkers. It's not just us doing it. And I know you're already saying, no, don't be as humble as we are, but it really is.
No,
it's
I
not
want you to
just
show
us.
off, man. Show off. This is a 30-minute show, and show off. We want people to know your story. But yeah, so, you know, we were super excited when I got the news and heard it. And so, you know, one of the things that I love to do on the show, you know, for our listeners, is I always think of our younger crowd. I think of our students, you know, I think of our community, and there's so much to be proud of. And so I want them to hear your stories, you know, why did you get into teaching? Why did you, you know, I know, Natalie, you're homegrown, you're a Sunnyside grad. You know, she's my former student. Speaking of 40 under 40, you're making me feel like a senior right now. And so, you know, there's a story behind this. So tell me a little bit about your story. Like, you know, why education? How did you land here? You know, why are you doing what you're doing? And obviously, our kids are reaping the benefits, because they get to work with great people like both of you, and they get to have great experiences, which for me, is one of those things that I wish for our kids every day, that they have a positive, productive experience in Sunnyside. So either one of you jump in and tell me your story. How did you get here? So are you from here, Mr. Coody? Where'd you come from?
I mean, I'm kind of afraid to bring up where I graduated from, because
that's all right, man.
I bleed blue. I am a blue devil now, but
You're...
I did graduate from Mountain View back in 2009, and you know what? I never thought I'd be a teacher. I never thought I'd be in education, and I'm not sure how many people end up saying that, but I was always thought I was going to be on the ambulance my entire career. I thought I was going to be treating patients left and right until I retired, and things changed, right? You know, it's an opportunity to open up, an opportunity opened up here at Sunnyside for the EMS program, and I jumped into it. So after my EMS training from EMT to medic, I then jumped and did a lateral move to education. I'm not looking back. I love it here. You know, in the back of my mind, like I say, I never thought about teaching, but moments where I was thrown into those teaching situations, I loved it, right? I was a field training officer at my old employer, and training others is nice. I enjoy it, and it's rewarding because what they end up doing is also a little bit thanks to you, right? They go out there, they're doing CPR on someone, they learn that from someone, and that's going to be the educator.
And from what I understand is, your program has been honored with some awards and which is super important because it's well deserved. But what I want to explain to the listeners out there, to the students and to the families is, what are the benefits from going into a program like EMS? I know there's different levels, there's different years, there's different credentials, and so what are the benefits to students, and what is that experience like for students?
So it's part of the college community and career ready program that we have. We want to make sure the students are ready once they graduate, and if that is with their EMT cert, with their CPR cert, and if they have their diploma, they can go work on an ambulance, they can go work in a hospital. So they are making sure I'm making sure they're ready for what's coming after graduation. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go. Keep going. You're on a roll here. So they have options, right? Is what we're saying. When they graduate from high school, they're both college and career ready. When we talk about ready, there's opportunities to do both. There's opportunities to get into the field and start working because they've earned these certifications, and these certifications are earned how?
So they earn them from sitting in the class. They go take their exams. They go out to the field. They'll do ride-alongs out with Drexel Heights Fire Department, and they're getting real-world experience, bringing it back to the classroom. They're talking about all of their calls they ran, and they're applying what they've learned in the field to their curriculum. Right? They're still going out there. They're still learning, even though they're on a ride-along. They're taking that back and applying what they've learned to their exams. And maybe that's why we're doing so good. We had first place last year in our HOSA event in EMT. We were up in the rankings in the top 5 for our CERT event. We just got back from Nashville from the international competition. So, we're doing some really big things.
Putting Sunnyside on the map, right?
Yeah,
Our students are doing an amazing job. So there you go, parents. I mean, you heard it here. I mean, there's some amazing opportunities for your children, to whether, even if they're going to go in a different field in the medical field, right? Even if they're going to go into a different career, I mean, this is such a great experience for them to get I believe there's 3 levels of classes that you have.
So our 2 main ones are the EMR and the EMT. So EMR is the introduction, so it's the foundation of our program. EMRs just aren't recognized in Arizona. We still get them certified to that level, but they can't work as an EMR. EMT is one that we're really striving for. That first year of EMR, it just preps them for that second year of EMT. That way we have much better success when they test.
Well, awesome. And I know your program's been honored with some awards. Is there any specific awards that you guys have received?
Oh, yeah. So State of Arizona awarded my program and a couple other programs between Desert View and Sunnyside levels of distinguishment, where we've turned in all the work for the state. They want to see that we are doing what we say we're doing, and we submitted all the documentation through an audit, and that was a long audit. You can ask Mr. Castro about how many years that took, but we were well prepared for it.
Well, good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I love seeing your students in the community. When we go to Friday night football games, they're there working, and they know their roles. They're in their uniforms. They got their, for lack of a better word, their little medic bags, right?
With bags, yeah.
And it just brings confidence. So, as educators, they always talk about, we love those moments when the light bulb goes off for students, right?
100%.
And I'm sure you see a lot of those moments in terms of, and we're teaching kids how to get to their passion, right? I always talk about your passion will lead you to your purpose, and you get to see that firsthand.
Yeah.
And you have students that are graduating as certified with certifications, right, that they're earning.
Yeah, coming out EMT certified.
EMT certified, and so they're job ready. So the community out there and students out there, if you haven't been to Mr. Coody's class, you got to come visit. I mean, he's got a simulated ambulance in his one of his 2 classrooms, and so it's his lab room, and so he's got these mannequins there they work on, and got all kinds of cool equipment, and so a lot of learning is taking place, and it's such a great program, and so I think that's what attracts kids to Sunnyside is programs like that, right? That where they can get certifications and just get a great experience and come out of school. You know, we always talk about it, college, career, community ready, or both, right? Or all three. So Miss Townsend, 2006, Blue Devil graduate, grew up here in the community. It's an awesome story. You know, I love to hear the stories of our alumni that come back and serve this community. Again, I'm going to brag here a little bit. I'm one of them as well, and I know I tell that story a lot, but I'm proud where I come from. You know, I attended school here, and now I get to serve this community, you know, in this role, and you're doing the same thing, you know, so it makes me proud to see my former students be so successful too. So tell me a little bit about your story.
So it's kind of funny because I felt like I was always slated to work in high school. You know, I got to give a little bit of credit to Miss Joanna Kroll, who was my English teacher, and she was also our student council advisor. And she really pushed me to say, hey, you need to be teaching English when you leave here. You know, you're a great writer, and you need to go do it. So I actually started at the U of A with intentions to teach high school English, and I immediately had an opportunity to work with elementary kids just through like the WordCat Math Cats program, and I switched my degree to elementary education, which now in hindsight, I'm like, why did I do that? I love high school, you know, like everything about high school I just love. You know, to your point, it's just, it's the heartbeat of our memories, right? Like of like growing up, like especially when it's like the school when you went to, like there's just so much like heart there. You know, I can get like super emotional talking about it because I just don't know how else to explain it. Like it's just so personal. So long story short, I went on and I taught, you know, 9 years in elementary, and then the opportunity eventually came up to work in the high school, and I jumped on it. And like Coody, I'm never going back. You know, like it's a great place to be. I love talking to the kids on a daily basis. I see a lot of, you know, myself and so many kids. Probably as a lot of people in this room can relate to.
Yeah,
and
but
so,
I heard in high school you were a little bit of a traviesa. Weren't
that
you like
is
a little,
not true.
I heard you were like a fighter and stuff. Like
That's not true.
There's even rumors
Mr.
that you were like a chola or something, but I don't know, man. We'll have to look at the yearbooks.
Yeah,
and now she's there like counseling kids on not fighting. No, I'm kidding.
No, not at all. Yeah, we're definitely gonna squash that rumor right here. So yeah, it's really exciting to, you know, just be on your own stomping grounds on a daily basis, and just being able to work with all the individuals there. You know, the staff at Sunnyside is phenomenal. You know, our leader, Miss Ponce, our principal, is phenomenal, and I think
another
we have a
40
great
under 40, right? Miss Ponce was 40 under 40.
Yeah.
I think a few years ago.
Yeah, so it's a great team, and there's just a lot of joy, you know, and I'm a believer, like, you got to get up in the morning and feel excited about what you're doing, because if you feel excited, you're going to do a decent job at it.
Exactly. You know, there's this saying of, like, when it doesn't feel like work, you know you're doing the right thing, right?
Yeah.
And you're in the right profession. And so tell me, where did you go to elementary, middle? I know you graduated from Sunnyside, but where did you go to
Liberty,
elementary?
Apollo. I lived right behind Apollo. We were kind of known as the house that had the tree house in the backyard. So
Okay.
a lot of friends would always come after school and we'd hang out. And so, yeah, just a lot of memories just growing up in the community.
By the food spot over there, right?
Yes,
The best Chinese
yes.
food in town back in the day.
Yes.
All right, so since we're talking about food, we're gonna take a quick break, but we will be right back.
Sunnyside students can have it all, learning and growing to graduate college, career, and community ready. Don't believe us? Just watch. At Sunnyside Unified School District, we are preparing our graduates with real-world skills and experiences. Our graduates are leaving Sunnyside to pursue an Ivy League education, becoming collegiate-level athletes, and earning prestigious scholarships such as the Gates Millennium, Dell, and Dorrance.
You know, you talked about going to Liberty, Apollo, being a Sunnyside grad. And then when you started in the district, you started at Liberty?
Yes.
Okay. So you worked at Liberty, and then from there, where did you go from there?
And then I was at Elvira for a couple years as the
Okay.
academic behavior support specialist, and then that's when I came to Sunnyside.
Okay.
So yeah,
Wow. So how many years now?
this is my 15th year.
15 years in the
Yes.
district. Wow.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's awesome. So, you know, I think you guys mentioned this a little bit before, when you, when you have success in your career, there's certain people that influence you. You were talking about your student council teacher. I'm sure there was influences with you as well,
Oh yeah.
Mr. Coody, and I want to go back to what you said earlier too, because you mentioned, although you're not from Sunnyside, you graduated from Mountain View. I think people adapt well to our community. It doesn't matter if you started here or if you didn't start here. I mean, there's something about serving this community, serving these students, our community, working with our families, that when people come here, they want to stay here for the most part, right? And so, I love that, and I want people to feel welcomed, and the doors are open. We want people in this organization that care deeply about kids, right, and care about our families and our community. And you guys are just perfect examples of that. And so, one of the questions I always ask is, who was that person that kind of, set you in the right direction, that believed in you, because that's all it takes sometimes. It takes that one person to say, man, you're special. You got this going on, or you got that going on. And then our kids take off, right? They take off and they get on that path of success. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, because, my question is, I'm not familiar with the medical field as much as you are. And so what drew you to that too?
So my inspiration, it was not a medical inspiration initially, to kind of follow this path of whatever you want to call it, leadership, education. Kind of who was sitting on that right path was my band teacher in high school, Mrs. Kirkbride. She saw something in me. She kept her eye on me, and she made sure she kept me out of trouble because, and my last name is Coody, and that's just, it comes with trouble over on that side. And she really looked out for me. She made me drum major my senior year, where I was in charge of the band, in charge of that. But as far as inspiration, as for the medical field, it's got to be my dad. It's got to be my dad and my brother. They're in the field with me, and
nice.
Just looking up to them. Kind of.
I did not know that.
Yeah, my dad retired as a paramedic. My brother's still in the field over with the fire department in Aver Valley, and they don't know it, but they've been a huge inspiration for me, just to make sure I can still hit what they're hitting to get those marks. And just
well, do any of them have the 40 under 40 under their belt? I mean, no. You got some like bragging rights.
Yeah, I got
now,
that
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can ride that one for a little bit. I don't think there's a 50 under 50, man. If there is, I missed that one. But no, that's awesome. That's awesome. I did not know that it was you said your father and your brother were in the same field. That's interesting. And so, it's we talk a lot about, there's always the trendsetters, right? Those people that kind of set the tone for the younger ones, for the family, for your younger siblings, for your kids, of this expectation of success, right? And I know at Sunnyside High School we use excellence. We love to use excellence, and so they set that mark. So it's neat to see when there's that one person in the family that's successful. Success follows, right? Success follows, and so it's so important for our students to hear that. For our students to listen to that, because a lot of them are first generation college going. Like I was, and like you probably were. Like the other question is like, why leadership? Why did you get into leadership? Because I think there's a lot of teachers out there sometimes that, that goes to their mind, like, do I give this a shot? Do I get into leadership? Do I not? Am I okay? And for some people, it's fine, right? It's if you love what you do, keep doing what you're doing, right? And that can be any role. Every role in this organization matters, and they're all important. So tell us a little bit about your inspirations and who helped you along, but also why leadership.
I think a big thing that comes to mind is a lot of conversations I have with kids is we have no control over the cards we're dealt with, right? And so just kind of knowing that, and knowing a lot about our kids in our community, there's just so much more to just the cards that we're dealt with in life, right? And everybody has a really unique story, but we also have the opportunity to do big with our own stories and really rise to the occasion. And so when you ask like why leadership, I think it just kind of happened naturally. I think I'm pretty vocal. I know I have some strong opinions about stuff. I look at Coody like blink hard.
Are you that person that always has to be in control? Are you like
no,
controlling?
I don't think
No, I'm
that's,
kidding.
yeah, I don't think that's me.
No, can you be the loudspeaker guy on the? Yeah, no.
No, but I think it just kind of happened naturally. And so just going back to like just being part of this community, just like making sure kids understand that like the opportunities are there. You just got to like reach out and grab them, you know, like don't let anything get in your way. Don't let anything be a barrier. Like the only barrier there is going to be to that is you. And as long as you can stay focused, like things are achievable. And so I'm super passionate about that. And like a lot of the conversations I have with kids in the Freshmen Academy, you know, they come in also just from middle school. So there's a lot just like developmentally too, you know, to just kind of like talk to them about and work through and it's exciting. I love that part of the job.
Yeah, it is. And it's, you know, you hit it on the nose. It's inspiring kids, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of educators get into this line of work because somebody inspired them. And so they're sure not getting into it because we're going to get rich here, right? But it's the, you know, it's the rewards of seeing kids grow and be successful. And so, you know, you guys just told some pretty authentic, awesome stories here about your journeys. And so kids need to hear that. You know, our kids need to hear these types of stories. You know, you were in band, you know, you were a band major and look where you're at now and look at the things you're doing, you know. Same thing with you, you know, Natalie, being from this community, you know, going to Liberty, going to Apollo, graduating from Sunnyside High School and doing the amazing things you're doing and you're 15 years in, you know, and so that's awesome. And so, you know, it's something that we need to do a lot more of. Like people are so humble in this community that they don't tell their stories. And so stories have to be told because there's a lot of great things that have happened, you know, in this community. So, you know, the next question I have for you is just kind of a random, like, what do you see yourself doing 5 years from now? Like, you know, what are some of the goals? You know, what are you shooting for? So
for me,
hopefully you're still here. You know, I mean, we don't want you guys to go nowhere, but I'm curious. Like 5 years from now, what do you see yourself doing?
I mean, I don't want to sound cliche and be a traditional educator, but I want to see all of my test scores go up with my students. I want to be the EMT training center in the high school, right? I want to be able to say we're the ones that are pumping out 80-90% pass rates. It takes time, it's going to take effort,
Love it.
but that's where I want to see in 5 years is. I want to be in charge of that and making sure that it's
the
running
premier
optimal.
program, right?
That's it.
The premier EMS program. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. All right, just checking.
And I bleed blue. I love Sunnyside and I want to be at Sunnyside in 5 years and we're working towards getting to an A-rated high school and I want to be part of that team and you know that's the work right now and that's the focus of the school and we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. You know, you can play this podcast in 5 years and you're gonna know.
Woo! Love it.
Love it. In 5 years.
You hear that, parents out there, community? I mean, we are, you know, it's trending in the right direction. That's what I have to say.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have, you know, both our comprehensive high schools, our B schools, and strong Bs. And so, you know, those are the letter grades you get from the state Department of Education. And so we have strong high schools. You know, I know there's a lot of choices for parents out there. But, you know, I always say, take a look at us. You know, come look at us. Come tour our campuses. Things have changed a lot in terms of what we offer, in terms of the student experience. I mean, we have great college and career academies at both high schools. And kids get to graduate with options. You know, there's a lot of room for kids to develop, and there's a lot of great opportunities for, you know, whatever they want to pursue after graduating from high school. And so we offer dual enrollment classes where they can earn college credit in high school. A lot of students graduate with close to an associate's degree amount of credits. So give us a look, man. And we're not too shabby at the athletics and the fine arts. I mean, you know, we're winning some championships here and there. And so that's a whole nother story, right? But that's a whole nother show. But, you know, we're super proud of the work our high schools are doing, you know, at Sunnyside, Desert View, and even Star Academic. just a lot of great choices. And so, as we come to an end, I hate to end our show here because we're having such a good conversation. My question to you are, what are some final thoughts you have here? This is your opportunity to send a final message, give some shout outs, and I want to close with that before I close.
I guess for me, I'm just super honored to represent Sunnyside, represent the district. There's a lot of pride in my heart and a lot of love for this district. And again, my voice gets like super shaky because it's just like I'm speaking from the heart. And so, thank you. Thank you, Sunnyside, for being my education growing up, for the friendships that I've gotten, for my husband, for my child, for my career, for everything, truthfully. And so without Sunnyside, my life would be a lot different. I'm grateful for this district for more than it probably can ever be put on paper. So
Well, we won't take the credit for Sunnyside giving you your husband, but Mr. Townsend was also a 40 under 40, like class of, I forget, but it was probably like 8 years ago or something like that. And so, Mr. Coody, what are your last thoughts here? Don't thank us for your family and all that. I'm kidding.
No, it's same thing. It's with. I'm honored to be a part of what 40 under 40. I am honored to be a part of this district. And Natalie keeps doing it. She hits the nail on the head. Without the support that we have from here, we wouldn't be where we are. And I mean, we might get there eventually, but without the support, it really helps us. And we're not going to find the support anywhere else. So I want to say thank you to the district, of course, thank you to all of our leadership. And I got to put out my family out there. Without my wife, without my kids, oh man. Without my support system at home, I'd be in trouble. So they are definitely as important to this as I am.
Absolutely. Those are awesome points for both of you when you guys go home and your family, your loved ones hear this. But no, and all joking aside, I mean, that's what it takes to be successful. You got to have people that understand, people by your side that understand what you do, right? What your profession's all about, and how much time you guys put in. I mean, we didn't even hit on that. I mean, the time you put into your job, and it takes great people by your sides. It takes a family to understand that. Educators put in a lot of hours. They don't work the traditional 7-8 hours a day, or they're putting in extra hours, right? And so that's what it definitely takes. And so. I just want to congratulate both of you. I mean, you guys are representing the district very well. You guys don't look a day over like 35. I don't know how you got the 40 under 40. Congratulations. I mean, I can't wait to see you guys on the 26th of August receiving this award. It's something you'll never forget. It's something special. It's something that you get to share with people, as you both humbly described earlier. It's an award you share with people, right? Because it takes a village to help people be successful. And so congratulations. We've just kicked off season 3. So you guys were the first ones on in season 3. I think, Mr. Coody, you're going to get like multiple stars because I think you've been on the show like 2 or 3 times already.
Only twice.
So only twice. All right. So we're looking for a third one here coming down the road. But congratulations. I want to wish you guys a phenomenal school year, and can't wait to see you at the event. So that wraps up season 3, episode 1 of Somos Sunnyside. Hasta la próxima. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Somos Sunnyside. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and found it entertaining. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe and share our podcast with la comunidad. For updates on future episodes and more, be sure to follow us on social media and visit our website at susd12.org. We appreciate your support and can't wait to have you back for the next episode. Hasta la próxima vez en Somos Sunnyside.